Well, good morning, dinos. Thank you for joining me here in my library. So today we're going to talk about Hedda Gabler and Heinrich Ibsen, and about what heroicism looks like in modernity and how power struggles between individuals doesn't has changed really in the last little while. We're going to do this by looking at the Book of the Two Lovers, the Book of the Duke of True Lovers, and looking at Henrik Ibsen's story. And we're going to also look at a bit of modern reflection of this. So let's get started. So what we see in this story is two women who their power largely comes through a second individual. You know, Hedda Gabler, she's very smart, she's very capable, she's strong, she's independent, but she doesn't live in a society that allows that. The only power she really has comes from her partner, who she just married. So for Hedda Gabler, it must be really galling to be married to a man like Tesman. You know, he can be whatever he wants. He can be a politician, which I think is her deepest desire, but he can be whatever he wants, and he wants to be a researcher. So moving on, we're talking about two women who, you know, they really lack agency. And for Hedda Gabler, you know, it's like what I imagine people in solitary confinement are like. You know, they're pushed to the end of their rope, backed into a corner at the total end of a string. Just, you know, they just want out. You know, they want to do something. They want to be somebody, and like she's just trapped. She's so trapped, and I think that's the reason that she begins to get a little stupid. It's not because she's actually stupid, but because, you know, it's big all or nothing plays, big gambles, big pushes, like we see in this story. They're what she's doing isn't working for her. The little plays that she's trying to make aren't working for her. So now, I know in this class we're supposed to be looking forward at modern ideas, but I just, you know, in reading this story, I couldn't help but think back to Christine de Pizan and the Book of the Duke of True Lovers. Got it right that time. You know, because in there we have a woman who, in the old idea, she's watching her friend be a bit of a philandering na. And she's like, no, that's not the way you do things. You do things by playing the game, by being upright, by being moral, by following a very set path of, like, you know, if you do this and you do this, you will inherit power through somebody else. And, you know, we see in this story that the Book of the Duke of True Lovers, I'm going to mess that up so many times. We see in the story that, you know, she's just advocating for women to be patient, to just be upstanding, and eventually power will come their way. And, you know, they don't need to resort to, you know, all or nothing kind of end means. And really what I think Ibsen's trying to get across in this story is that Christine de Pizan is full of shit. Like, you know, this old idea of be patient and wait out your time and bide your time for men to notice you and to listen to you and to value your opinion. You know, it's horseshit. And the reality is that that's not a fair way for women to have power and autonomy and agency within society. You know, it's what the position, the role of women, like the romantic promises of the past era that Christine de Pizan is putting forward are failing. You know, they don't live up to their promises. You know, that doesn't give women a worthwhile life. It gives them a terrible life. To only have power through men, to only have power by playing the game right. You know, I mean, come on. And for Hedda Gabler, you know, she's on the ledge. She's on the ledge. She's got a life that the only agency and meaning she has comes from the actions of her partner, and her partner doesn't even want to do them, you know? And she's on a ledge. She just wants value and meaning and purpose in her life, and she doesn't feel it. And I think she's very desperate. And I think people in desperate places make interesting decisions. And that's what we see with Hedda Gabler, is that, she's crazy and she's manipulative and she's scared and she's trying to take her life back. She's trying to have something that makes it all worth it. And I don't think she's got that. And I think that's what Ibsen's trying to say, is that the existing position that women are in it doesn't really pan out the way that Christine de Pizan kind of put forward. I think, in many ways, his story is a critique on old ideas and the need to change them. Which, yeah, power to him. Now, the aunt, she's loving and she's nurturing, but she gets all her power through her nephew. And that's the nature of her strength. And the really interesting thing here is that I don't know if this is 100% reflective of the nature of relationships between men and women at this time, but it seems like it is. It's what makes this story so sad, is that both of these women, in order to have any power, autonomy, control, or what they perceive as effect on the world, they have to have it through this man. They have to control his actions. They have to determine where he's going to go in life. And that's really sad. Or at least for me, it's really sad. I mean, there's certain things, there's dreams I want to do. There's things I want to achieve in my life. And if the only way I could see, if I could see them brought into fruition was through influencing somebody else to do them, pulling the strings of somebody else like a marionette, I'd say that would be liberalism definitely failing at one of its promises. But liberalism is a talk for another day. So now, where do we see this in modern society? I think probably the best example I can come up with is ladies' magazines. I personally used to love reading ladies' magazines because they're, it's this game, this idea of the game and the power play and the power struggle. They capitalize on it. They tell you the sneaky tricks and how to get in there. And, there's articles like, what men will hate for you to wear to bed, why you didn't hook him, all of these different things. I think I once remember reading an article that was titled, "So You Married an Underachiever." And yeah, it's about, again, still just like manipulating men and controlling men and gaining power through men. And it's still very much a prevalent dialogue that we have in society today, that requires women to, base their life on men. And what I love about Hedda Gabler is, and it's sad at the same time, but, I just love that she's just like, just when somebody thinks they've got her backed into a corner, putting her in her place. Here you go. Like, you never should have messed with the bull or you're going to get the horns, like that kind of thing. And, just when they think they have her in their place, she's just like, well, fuck this. I'm doing my own thing. I would rather die on my terms than live on yours. And I like that. And I get why in class you said, here's a woman that's a hero. It's heroic. And it's I don't think a lot of people would consider that heroic, but, for someone like me, somebody who I've been running away since I was 4 years old. I've had problems with authority my entire life. I can't handle having the idea of other people in control of my life and my destiny and my fate. And, yeah, it's a bit of a immature problem, but it's one that, when I see something like Hedda Gabler and I get that level of heroicism where it's just like, no, like my life is authentic, it's integral, and you don't get to determine things about it. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. And yeah, Have a great day, dinos!